Okay. Hey, Dom, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good. And
Oh, what movie are we talking about
I
today?
have no idea.
So
Let's turn.
today, for the audience out there, we are talking about the 1984 classic Gremlins. And it's tempting to say the Steven Spielberg movie Gremlins, but this was really more of a Joe Dante
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, it was his little baby.
There were a number of things that Spielberg frankly disagreed with, but felt that uh, Dante had artistic control over this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they definitely were working together, but yeah, it was a Dante
Mhm.
baby, for sure.
So if by some insane chance anyone watching hasn't seen this movie, um, it's about a guy that gets a little creature for his son for Christmas, and it's the original Baby Yoda. It's this
Yeah,
adorable little furry thing called Mogwai.
yeah, and so cute, it's disgusting.
Oh, disgusting, disgusting. There are three rules that go along with it. Do not get it wet. Don't put it in bright light,
Right,
and do not feed it after midnight. And
right.
these are cardinal rules, which obviously, once they're said, will all be broken.
Right, and broken rather quickly. I mean,
And
he's terrible at taking responsibility.
oh, he's horrible. Every single person in this movie,
Yeah,
with maybe the exception of Phoebe Cates,
yeah,
is just a horrible human being.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. No, that it's actually hysterical how little regard they have for what the shopkeeper warns them. It's he's in Chinatown. He goes to a shop, and they actually the gentleman does not really want to sell him the Mogwai, and
With good reason. I mean, let's face it. Like, like I gotta say right up front, Hoyt Axton, Father of the Year in this one. I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
holy crap! Like he buys this thing from some kid when the owner clearly doesn't want it sold.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Gives it to his son and then takes off again.
And
Like,
and
good luck.
$200 in 1980s money was decent money. And the kid looks at the $200 and the old man's like, no, no. But yeah, and the kid does something rather tricky and sells it to him on the side. But there's total disregard for the warnings. And
Total,
yeah,
total. So and again, for those of you who haven't seen it, the image behind Mike, the cute one with the big ears is Mogwai. The other one is what happens to them if you break the
right,
rules.
right.
And obviously they break the rules. These other things just ravage the town.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know the crazy thing that like the the family too is like the father is an inventor, a bad inventor. I mean, he's a rather good guy, but he's um, well-meaning, but boy, he's a terrible inventor. And you can kind of tell. I don't know if you noticed, um, but like you can kind of tell how stressed out the mom is. Um, in fact, there's a couple of disturbing scenes, like where the son's talking to her, and she's in the kitchen, and you can tell like the mother is like, actually, this is the scene actually where he's talking to his mom, and he says, "Are you all right, mom?" And I think she's like stressed out like a lot because of what the father does for a living. He's gone a lot. He does not have a good income coming in, and
It's hard to figure out what's going through her
yeah,
head because
yeah,
her part in this movie is to become an absolute killing machine.
well, and that's something else, isn't it? Like what she when she decides to start defending her house against those gremlins, my God. I mean, yeah, she's a warrior. She's an absolute warrior. I mean,
But she doesn't even give them a chance. I
yeah,
mean, like she sees one in the kitchen. It doesn't see her.
yeah,
It's eating a cookie. It it doesn't. It looks scary, but
yeah,
it's not. seeming violent. It's not attacking her, and she automatically kills it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just without any second thought.
Yeah. One goes through one goes in a microwave, one's in a juicer.
One gets stabbed.
Yeah. And the other thing, and I was thinking about this, but I'm assuming there are actually like 3 human deaths due to these.
I counted 4.
Oh, really? Okay.
My body count for that movie was 4.
Okay.
That we saw.
What? I'm sorry. Say again.
4 that we saw.
Yes.
Okay. And several others sort of suggested.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the snowplow guy and his wife. I'm assuming when the Gremlin drove the backloader into the front loader into the house with a snowplow attached to it, I'm assuming both of them got taken out. They're
right. Right.
So yeah.
And then there was the oh my God, the biology teacher that was doing experimentation on one of the gremlins.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, like, he was reckless because, I mean, he didn't know what these things were. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Reckless doesn't even cover. I mean, I mean, you can say reckless, but also cruel. I mean,
yeah.
I'm assuming he's never done animal experimentation before.
No.
I don't expect the average high school biology teacher to have done that route.
Right. Or would have had any like really real knowledge of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure where he learned his phlebotomy skills.
No. But he was definitely drawing blood. And what that hypo was that was in his butt, he was not getting up. And there was no attempt to revive him or anything like that. I'm assuming he was down for the count. So that I figure that was one of the deaths. So there's 3 right there. So where's the 4th?
The old woman.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Some people have said, "Oh, we're not sure she's dead," but she's an old woman that fell out of it. That was basically thrown out of a 2-story house.
Yeah,
onto the street.
Oh yeah. No. And when the way she went out the window, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think you're right. That's a body count right there.
This was a much darker movie than I remember.
Very, very dark. I mean, and the other thing I love Phoebe Cates. I'm gonna just go on record as saying I had such a crush on her growing up, and I've loved. I know her movies were, some of her movies were bad movies. Some of them were, but I always thought she was great. But her story, my God, her story of like Christmas and why she doesn't like Christmas.
Yep.
You've joked around and said, I don't like Christmas. She has a real reason. She has a real reason. I mean, poor Phoebe Cates. She tells this horrible story of her dad trying to play Santa Claus, and the father is found in a fireplace after they start a fire.
He tries to sneak down a chimney.
Yeah.
Breaks his neck in the process.
Yeah.
And is like dead for God knows how long.
Yeah.
In their chimney, in their house, like it's feet away from them.
How dark can you get when you tell a story?
That's
I mean, it's horrible. So like I said, I understand why she didn't like Christmas. That's a darn good reason.
And that story is one of the things that Spielberg and a number of other executives objected to.
Right.
And Dante convinced them, like, this is the movie.
Yeah.
It's dark, there's death, it's tragic, yet at the same time, it's kind of humorous. You don't want to admit it.
I think it's very humorous. I think there's a lot of charm to the movie. They kept the main Mogwai, if I'm pronouncing that right. They kept him really cute, really, something you wanted to have like a dog, a pet, it was just a cute little creature. And then the Gremlins are so damn evil.
I have to say, originally this was going to be a much darker movie.
Yeah.
For instance, originally Mogwai was going to become Stripe.
Oh, okay.
Until a rewrite. Spielberg did E.T.
right
prior to this movie.
Yeah.
and and people learned from that movie that cute sells.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so they kept Mogwai. From what I hear in commercials about the movie, they focused more on Mogwai than the evil gremlins.
Yeah. Well, and you know, another thing is both Dante and Spielberg were having a lot of fun with like little things in the
Oh,
backgrounds.
there were
Like,
so many Easter eggs.
yeah, there are, and like I don't even know like what the two. I know one of the movies, you know, when you see the marquee on here,
Mhm.
there's A Boy's Life and Watch the Skies. One
Yep.
of them, I believe, was Watch the Skies, was actually the working title for E.T.
No, no, no. A
Oh,
Boy's Life was the working title for E.T. Watch
okay.
the Skies was
Oh,
the working title for Close Encounters.
okay. All right. That makes more sense. Yep. And that actually, they were hyping, they were hyping that movie. And then if you notice, there's a scene where the Stripe, I believe it is hiding in the store, and there's an ET doll
Yep.
next to him. They put so many little things in there. It's actually like a lot of fun, and it's one of those kind of movies that if you know some of those things, it makes it like really extra fun to you know to watch it.
Well, I mean, Spielberg did a cameo in there.
Yes, and actually, that I think I'm probably blocking Spielberg, but hold on, let me. But yeah, that's Spielberg in the wheelchair. That's
Yeah,
him.
right over your
And
shoulder.
yep. And I think, yeah, I think Dante might be the one in the crazy suit. And in the far background, to my left, I guess, is that is actually from H.G. Wells, The Time Machine.
Oh
That is
yeah.
the Time Machine. And what's really crazy is there's a point where they scan away to the mother, and when they scan, look at Spielberg's chair, has got two American flags in the back. But when they come back to when it edits back to him, the it's gone. So and again, that was like a little forerunner of Back to the Future, which was made
Yep.
later. So
Well,
those
well,
are
actually, the other connection is
yeah,
the set used for that town
right.
is the same town used in Back to the Future.
Okay, okay.
It's the same set.
Yeah, actually, that's right. There's again, you probably are having trouble seeing it, but those are the towns. And you know what I thought was crazy was with the opening shot with the town. In old movies, you would a lot of times you would see a painted background,
Hmm.
and there you can actually really tell there's the set, there's the you know the lot movie lot, and in the background they put a painted backdrop, which was really only used in older movies, you know. So that in itself was crazy right there that they actually did that. Maybe one of the last ones that they used a painted backdrop that was so blatantly painted. But that's cool that that they actually used the
Well, I mean, if you're going to go through the trouble to create an entire town, you better use it a few times.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And a lot of times with movie sets like that, you had to justify it. Now, another thing that I have got to point out, I
Yep.
is Robbie the robot. And if you have any trivia, but Robbie was first used in what Fantastic Planet,
Oh yeah, fantastic or forbidden? I forget which
Forbidden
one.
Planet. That's
Uh,
right. And
I know that robot from Lost in Space.
yes, and actually there he is fighting the robot, and and I love Lost in Space, the original Lost in
Oh
Space.
yeah,
I actually love Netflix's remake. I think it was
yeah, I
really
did
well
too.
done. Yeah, I mean, I could have seen a lot more seasons of that too, but he was also on The Addams Family. He was on an episode of Columbo. It,
Really?
yes, it's crazy how many
Huh.
times Robbie the robot has popped up in different. There he is in Lost in Space after the robot kicked his butt. But but yeah, so like I said,
You even mentioned he was on Mork and Mindy, which I had no idea.
yes, yeah. So it's crazy. He's turned up, you know, a lot. And
But I mean, you told me that they spent what, the equivalent of $100,000
yeah, which
making him.
that was back in the 50s. Man, that's a lot of money. 50s money. You if you had $100,000 in the 1950s, you were doing really well.
Well, I think you told me that it was the equivalent of 100,000 right now. So I don't know exactly the
Oh,
amount
okay.
that would
Yeah,
be.
okay, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, back then, what was that, 25 grand or something like that? Whatever. Now, another thing about this movie that I saw uh like similarities to was the old rich lady that flew out the window, the fourth death. She her character reminded me a whole lot of the old man in It's a Wonderful Life. And she had that same, she kind of controlled the town, ran the town with her money like Potter. And she
Yep, yep.
yeah, and so there was to me there was a lot of similarity with
There
that.
were a lot of references to It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, yeah.
She reminded me of oh, basically the Wicked Witch of the West.
Well,
In
yes, yes. There was definitely similar. The whole thing about the dog when she's
She
after the
wanted the
dog.
dog.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't want money. I want the dog. And it's like, wow, you really are evil, lady. But but so
Do you
yeah,
know who that was?
what's that?
Do you know who that actress
No,
was? I can't remember her
no,
name.
I can't think of her name.
She was Flo on Alice.
Oh my God, yeah.
She was the Kiss My Grits lady.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that now that you're saying it. Wow, that's a great piece of trivia. Well, here's another one that I know you said you weren't a fan of Better Call Saul, which we
Or
disagree on
Breaking
that.
Bad. I do know the character.
Yeah. Well, he's liberally used in Better Call Saul also, but yeah, he played the cop in this one, and he's so much younger in this one. Of course, it was
He's
a
got
long time.
hair.
Yeah, yeah, and his character, like I never would have. I rewatched the movie again before we did this talk, and I wasn't even thinking of that. It wasn't until I was looking online I was like, oh my God, he was Mike. So yeah, that
I didn't watch the sequel, Gremlins 2, the
yeah.
new
Oh, you
batch.
haven't seen, yeah, you haven't seen this.
I haven't seen that, but
Yeah.
I've heard the actor that plays Tuco is in
Okay.
that one.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have to rewatch that again too because it's been quite a while since I've seen.
I was looking around online and these posters were getting to this discussion about I'd love to see a batch of gremlins get into the RV of Breaking Bad
Oh
with
yeah.
Jesse and
Wow. Yeah, with the map.
yeah, and everyone was saying I'd watch the heck out of
Oh,
that.
I would too. I would too. Now, another thing that you see with this one is the Judge Reinhold.
Yep.
And of course, him and Phoebe Cates both did Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and of course he was a good guy in Fast Times,
Mhm.
but he actually played a better villain. There's been a few movies where he's played a villain, and I think he plays a villain really well. I mean,
He did pretty well on this one.
yeah, he was kind of a jerk.
I was shocked to learn that this movie came out after Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
like
Okay.
it's hard for me to believe they cast Phoebe Cates in this
Yeah,
after she played that character.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that, like I said, that was such an iconic movie, Fast
Mhm.
Times. I mean, again, one that I definitely love the hell out of it. And
We'll have to do that at some point.
yeah, absolutely, because there's so much in that one. Great character, Sean Penn, and everything. Another thing with this one is the merchandising in
Oh,
this. There is so much merchandising. These cards alone.
mhm.
Um, did you have some of those when you were younger? Because I remember, I remember seeing those, and I actually picked some up at a yard sale one time. I think I resold them on eBay or something. But those cards, they're very familiar to me. Seeing those Gremlins cards, but there were so many toys that there were the
Oh yeah.
there was so many toys that, you know, I mean, even the evil
The
Gremlins.
toy Mogwai, I believe, were repurposed Furbies.
Oh, really? Really?
I
Now,
think
see, that's a
so.
great
Yeah.
piece of that's a great piece of trivia right there. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Now there was also figurines, and this is like, but look at the if you can see her face, her face almost looks that looks like something out of Suspiria or something like the poster
Yep.
for
Yep.
Suspiria. It's like that's scary. And the doll, of course, this one it's an older collector's, it's probably melted or something. But the dolls were actually like kind of creepy dolls.
Well, that's supposed to be her dad. Is he supposed to be dead there?
Oh my God, that's right. That's exactly what that is.
I mean, because
Who the
that
hell
does
would have
not look like
marketed
a
that?
living.
Yeah, I mean, they actually put that out for kids.
Ugh.
So there was somebody was doing some sick marketing there. I mean, you're actually buying he smoked. He's basically smoked. He was in the chimney, you know. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, there was crazy marketing in that. That was, and another thing that I have to bring up, and that is, I don't know if you remember the scene, but the Gremlins are playing with it's a Donkey Kong.
Oh
And
yeah. Well, I mean, I just rewatched the movie. So
dude, didn't you have a Coleco, one of the tabletop ones?
you're
Because
asking me to remember decades
yeah,
back.
I know, but I'm almost dead sure. I mean, I'm a gamer, so yeah, I played on so many systems, but I know I was playing on one of those, and I almost think it was one either you or Mike had.
It
But
wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, and the other thing, those were the coolest machines. I love the fact that you can see that in the movie. But
Hmm.
look how many of those ColecoVision toys were marketed. There's Donkey Kong, you know, there. I mean,
Oh, I can't believe
Glacian.
they had Zenon.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It was, and you know, of course, Pac-Man. Pac-Man was Miss Pac-Man and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, you know, so
No,
like,
they merchandised the heck out of this. There was a
yeah.
cereal. There were T-shirts. I mean,
Now here's something that I was thinking of when I was watching the movie, because you know, whenever they got wet, of course they
they
multiplied,
multiplied.
and
Mhm.
he's in snow. Doesn't that kind of shouldn't he be? Shouldn't he
They
be?
played a little loose with the rules.
Yeah, yeah, that was a little bit, but because he's threatening at one point, he's got his finger on the fountain, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start multiplying here. But
I heard that in one of the original scripts, they were going to have the fire department fight them with fire hoses.
wow, really, really,
Yep.
it's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. You know, the other thing is the extreme that they ended up having to go to in order to get rid of the Gremlins. He blows up the movie theater, and it's an old movie theater in the town. It's a kind of a monument in the town, and he blows the hell out of that thing to kill them all. So, I mean, what a killer ending, you know. But yeah,
Well, I mean, I gotta say, no one in this film had any reservations about ending a life.
no, no, not at all. No, everybody got ruthless when it came down to what they had to
This
do.
this movie is one of the movies that resulted in the PG-13 rating.
Oh yeah, I heard they really struggled with the rating. So it was PG-13 they came up with for the
This movie came out as PG,
yeah,
but after this movie, they were like, there needs to be some in
yeah,
between thing.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm not surprised, because if you think about it, the very fact, and you know, I know like as far as like the being a Christmas movie, it's it kind of like it's on the edge. It's a very edgy, you know, there's been tons of dark Christmas movies made since then, but this was kind of like a pioneer as far as like there were already some on the table that were like Black Christmas. There's been different ones,
This
but
was a lot more groundbreaking than
yeah,
I had given it credit for.
yeah, yep. I mean, there were, you know, we had like what Silent Night, Bloody Night. There's different ones like that, but they were lesser. This was a huge movie, And so for this one to be as dark as it was for a Christmas movie, but again, it's because of the fun in this movie. How can you not watch this movie and have fun?
It's funny. Like I think we talked last week about Dead End.
Yeah,
We're discussing horror comedies,
yeah,
and I basically said I'm not sure what I considered that.
right, right.
This movie, to me, is the definition of a horror comedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely blends both elements.
Yeah, and very well too. So I almost wish Dante and Spielberg had collaborated. I don't think they collaborated again, but maybe they no. Who did Gremlins 2? Do you have any idea who did the?
It was Dante.
Was it Dante? Okay.
It was Dante.
Was Spielberg
I'm looking
involved?
at my notes. I'm
Yeah.
cheating a little,
Yeah.
but yeah. Gremlins 2, Dante.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did Amazon Woman on the Moon.
Oh yeah. Oh, Dante's great. You gotta love Dante. He always had a sense of humor about his movies, and his movies are always dark, a lot of horror, a lot of crazy. But yeah, he's Dante's great. I mean, his sense of humor is terrific.
You know who they were considering to direct it?
Who?
Burton. Tim Burton.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
that would have been interesting.
That would have been very interesting.
Yeah. That would, but especially in early Tim Burton, I kind of like I've lost some of my love for Tim Burton and more for his more recent movies. I think his early stuff was great. I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas, different ones like that's actually another talking about dark. It kind of like plays with Halloween and Christmas both, but you could watch it, I guess, on either occasion, but it's definitely got a strong Christmas thing in there too, but dark. It's early Burton, and it's really well done. But yeah, that's one I definitely love.
Yeah, I look forward to doing a Burton movie on this.
Actually,
show
we at some point, it's maybe next Halloween, do a Nightmare Before Christmas because it would kind of encompass the two holidays. And who doesn't love Halloween? I certainly do.
Exactly.
But yeah. So like I said, there's so many movies. I've different people have been. I had a couple of people in the comments that were mentioning different movies. One movie, I'm trying to think what movie it was that was.
So we should take this time for a few things. One is I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers because there has been a response that I didn't expect to this.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to 500.
So thank you for subscribing.
Yeah.
Welcome. I hope you enjoy it, and feel free to suggest what you'd like to see in a future video.
Yeah, I'd like to see comments. Yeah.
Someone did suggest Thanksgiving.
That's right. That was the movie I was trying to think of.
Which I've never seen.
Yeah.
It is something I seem to think we should wait until closer to Thanksgiving to do.
That's Thanksgiving. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, we need more. We want more suggestions. Please do.
Not that we don't have enough movies in our own head.
That's right. I actually made a list the other day, and I've got this long list. But I don't, and I'm sure you feel the same way. If we get comments with people suggesting something, especially something that's a time that's coming up for a holiday season or whatever, or just something that really catches someone's interest, suggest it. It doesn't matter if we've got a list, but we'll cut them any movie. I mean, we're always open.
We're not going to run out of movies anytime soon.
No,
but we love movies, and we'll welcome any suggestion.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've definitely got a fun one coming up for the next one. So and we also, again, please, as we're drawing near the end of this, we do want to ask people, please do like and subscribe. We love seeing the fact that we are getting some subscribers, but please like and subscribe. It's really helping us out, and it's it makes us want to continue. It helps us to continue. So please, we hate asking, but please like and subscribe if you would. But yeah, and we definitely have another Christmas themed, a fun one in mind. So maybe.
uh, let's get back to Gremlins because there's more to be said. This movie, again, I didn't realize how groundbreaking this movie was.
Sure.
It sort of spawned a whole sort of a subgenre
Yeah.
of horror about these small things.
Huh.
There was critters, there was ghoulies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't think of all the others, but just these little monsters. I
Oh
think there
yeah.
was one called Little Monsters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that is a whole genre in itself. I mean, everything from the Leprechaun movies to, I mean, but yeah, animated creatures, that's a whole nother, like what this is, that's a whole nother thing right there. But I mean, even the Chucky doll, you could say, is kind of like where a toy is something, or something that's small, furry, cute, whatever. The Chucky doll, of course, is not furry and cute. But
Yeah, I consider Chucky a little more in the vein of Puppet Master.
yeah,
I consider that a different thing. But here's my list. So ghoulies, troll, hobgoblins, and munchies.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Those are, yeah. Munchies actually was, boy, I haven't thought of that one in a few years. But that was definitely along the same vein.
And HBO Max just came out with a new Gremlins animated series.
I heard that. Are they calling it Gremlins 3? Because there was a,
Nope, they're calling it where is it?
or is
Gremlins,
you're saying it's
Secrets
a
of the
series?
Mogwai.
It's a series, a TV series?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's, I'll have to check it out. I'm not
It
sure.
just started earlier this year.
Well, yeah. I wonder if it's any good. Have you heard anything as far as reaction, or if
I haven't watched it yet. I saw the trailer.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll definitely check it out. That sounds like it. I mean, it could be fun if nothing else. And HBO usually does it right. So every once in a while they have a bomb, but usually they do it right. So cool, very cool.
Oh yeah, one more bit of trivia I had to talk
Sure.
about. On the soundtrack,
Yeah.
there's a track from Quarter Flash
Really,
and a track from Peter Gabriel.
really, I'm trying to think of what would those be? Do you have any idea?
Let's see. Quarter Flash did "Make It Shine,"
Huh. Okay.
and Peter Gabriel did a track called "Out Out."
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Peter Gabriel was great for, like, I mean, he was like talking about innovative. He was innovative with sound. I mean, he had, some of the cool 80s ones on MTV, that he would do. He would do all those ones with, like, it was groundbreaking, percussion and just electronic sounds. And I mean,
he was one of the early adopters of the music video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, and Quarter Flash, I think of what what was their big hit?
Oh, did they do "Hard My Heart"?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't call them a one-hit wonder because they had more than one. But
They had more than one hit wonder, but they didn't survive much past their era.
Right, right. But that's really interesting that they were actually included with this. So, yeah, that's a nice bit of trivia right there. But no,
I mean, it's one of the things I love about this thing we're doing is because I love movies to begin with.
yeah.
I get to learn more about the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's something that's always, to me, that's always been a huge part of why, that's another great scene, but that's a huge part of why I love movies, is when you hear about some bit of trivia that and sometimes it's something that, like, you're like, oh my God, that actually explains why that happened in the movie.
Right.
Or whatever. It makes the movie more charming, and you look out for things like, it's like the Easter eggs, and there's a lot of them in here. So, but
there's a ton of it. In fact, again, my research into this, Dante's next film, The Burbs with Tom Hanks,
yeah,
they have frequent appearances of the Gremlin cereal box.
really,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's Easter eggs that carry over into his next movie.
Yeah. Well, another thing that was actually funny is, because they were playing around a lot with stuff with what the Gremlins were wearing and
Mhm.
things they were doing. And one of the things that there's a scene, and unfortunately, I don't have a picture for that one, but there's a scene where one of the Gremlins is dressed up like the chick Jennifer Beals and not Jennifer Beals in Flashdance. It was Jennifer Beals, yeah, that was in Flashdance, and it's the flat, and actually then he starts doing like he starts doing break dancing. He's spinning on his back.
Yep, yep.
So but there were a lot of like crazy movie references with what the Gremlins were doing. So,
Oh, they definitely took shots at pop culture of the
oh,
time.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. And again, that's one of Dante's things. And Spielberg seemed like he was really having a lot of fun with this doing.
I honestly don't know. In reading about it, I don't know how much involvement Spielberg really had in the ultimate movie, because it sounds like he disagreed with a lot of it,
Yeah,
but let it go.
yeah, but I just think that as far as what he was, what his involvement was, I think him and Spielberg or him and Dante were they were playing around with a lot of things. So he must have been having some laughs. He might have disagreed, but it must have been a friendly disagreement because
Right, right.
like look at the whole thing with the appearance, in that one little conference that the father was at, and he's going by, and then they're doing all the movie references, and they were joking around. I mean, it was definitely a fun collaboration. So yeah, I think that it made the movie what it is too. The fact they were, if they hadn't done some of those things, this movie would have been too damn dark. It was for a Christmas movie.
So it was a Christmas movie. Do you know what the release date was?
No, what was the release? No.
June 8th.
Okay. Wow. I didn't realize that. I
Eh,
thought that was a Christmas release. I really
Yeah,
did.
no. The reviewers thought it odd, but from what I heard,
Yeah.
they were going to release it as a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But when they heard that Ghostbusters,
Oh, okay.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom were coming out as summer blockbusters,
Yeah.
and the studio realized we don't have a summer blockbuster, they upped the release date.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but you would have thought this would have been, because there's always ones that are released around Christmas. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, this is a perfect Christmas movie.
yeah.
Well, perfect to me
Yeah.
anyway.
Because Christmas Day, let's face it, Christmas Day, a lot of people hit the movie theater. So yeah, I guess the answer to is Gremlins a Christmas movie is yes, it is. But
Yeah, oh, there's no doubt in my mind.
yeah, but they probably didn't dare, because of the darkness of it. They probably didn't dare. It was just something, but again, you don't want to poorly time your release. So like you say, the timing, they probably
That
felt
means
that.
everything.
Yeah.
And
So
let's face it, a lot of people do go to the movies on Christmas Day. A lot more go during the summer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's on vacation. Everybody's looking for stuff to do, or even just a hot day.
Yep,
Better to
yep.
do something go to a movie theater.
I gotta look that up. I gotta look up when the most movie revenue occurs at theaters.
Yeah. Well, I always thought, to tell you the truth, I always thought Christmas being a big debut for a lot of blockbusters, I always thought that might have been, but I could be wrong. Um, let's have some viewers time in on that and say there's actually the shop when he's trying to sell one of his devices and get the Mogwai too. And they're the cute little Chinese kid that was making the deal on the side because he knew his family needed the money. He's like, yeah, no, we need the money, so we're selling this thing.
Well, I mean, they need the money, but if you look at that shop was full of things that could have sold, and they
Oh yeah.
choose to sell basically a living creature
Mhm.
that has like
Yeah.
very specific instructions
Yeah.
to some stranger that obviously didn't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah. and he had it hidden away. He definitely, it was not something that he planned to put on the market, but the father just happened to hear it, and it was like all hell breaks loose after that. So,
I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to do a spoiler alert, but
which is what we are.
the new cartoon, the new animated series,
Yeah.
they give an explanation as to how Mogwai and the Gremlins came to be.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's
So
a,
if you're interested in that backstory,
yeah.
check out the animated series.
Yep. Wow. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I'll have to, I'm going to have to check it out. So for sure. But yeah, definitely, definitely, like I said, it's a movie that I probably revisit Gremlins every 2 or 3 years, and it had been easily 2 to 3, probably it could have been on to 4 for this, but when I went back to it, I rewatching it again, I was like, yeah, I know why I've always really enjoyed and loved the movie. And it's definitely something from my era. I was young, and it was when it came out, and it was
Oh yeah, I saw this at the theater.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's again, if you haven't seen Gremlins, if it's a movie that for some strange reason you've never checked it out, you kind of owe it to yourself. You
Well,
won't.
if you're into comedy horror,
Yes, yeah, it's definitely a specific.
if you're not into that, then maybe you want to pass on it.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely be prepared for something a little darker. It's not. Don't go there thinking that It's a Wonderful Life. It's not that. It's not that story. But
I mean, it's not gore filled either,
no,
but
no, it's
it
not.
is dark.
Yeah, yeah, it's again, even with things like the death of 4 humans, at least that we know. But yeah, it's the you kind of don't like the evil Gremlins, and like Stripe especially is evil. You dislike them enough that when they meet their demise, there's no you're not you're it's catharsis. You're like, yes.
So I forgot that the voice of Mogwai was Howie Mandel.
Oh, yes, yes,
The
and
guy
that
that
makes a
was the
lot of sense.
voice, the guy that was the voice of Stripe
Yeah.
is the voice actor that did Fred on Scooby Doo.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And the guy that
I didn't
did,
know that.
I'm sorry, I'm not remembering names. I feel bad about that, but
Right.
the guy that did a lot of the other Gremlins voices was the guy in Police Academy that did
Okay.
those weird sounds.
Yeah, he was. The sounds that guy could make.
Oh,
Uh,
amazing.
I mean, before they, I mean, now everything's done with like techno boards and things like that. But that guy actually, he'd get on stage at comedy clubs, and he would just do his whole act around, making sounds and what he could, and people would be like, "How the hell is that coming out of that guy?" Yeah, he was very talented with
It
that.
was impressive.
Yeah, but
Well,
and
hopefully I'll remember his name and we'll do a Police Academy movie at some
yeah,
point.
those are fun movies. There's so many movies that I can think of that we could have a lot of fun with talking about. That's the great thing about this channel is it's endless how many really fun movies there are to talk about, and both reminiscing and trivia and just funny stuff, So
But on that note,
yeah,
we may have to end it and take up a different movie on another time.
okay, all right, sounds good, Dom. I definitely had fun talking about this one.
Oh, loved
and
it.
and we'll probably do a short just to highlight our next one. We'll kind of keep it under wraps. It will be Christmas themed, and and it should be a fun one. So please stay tuned and tune in for the next one. But because we're having fun with this, we hope you
Totally.
are. Dom, I'm like I said, another nice talk with you. It's always fun.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, always a pleasure. So let's do it again, and we'll meet back here. So stay tuned, folks. Thank you very much.
See you next week.
Thank you.